see the screen? Continuity and differentiability. We are now talking about continuity, something more. Discuss the continuity of. I have 4 questions here. First one is fx equal to mod x at x equal to 0. Second is fx equal to mod x by x. If x is not equal to 0, fx is defined like this. Mod x by x. Fx is defined when x equal to 0, it is mod x by x, and when x is 0, it is 0. Third is fx equal to x squared sine 1 by x. When x not equal to 0, and that is 0 when x equal to 0. This you have to all actually in this. We have to find the limit. We have to discuss the continuity at x equal to 0. And the fourth is 1 minus cos x upon x squared when x not equal to 0, and 1 if x equal to 0. All this we have to discuss continuity at x equal to 0. Let us take one by one. Fx equal to mod x at x equal to 0. You remember a function is continuous at a point if the left limit at that point equal to right limit at that point, and that is equal to f, the value of the function at that point. Here mod x is defined, when mod x, there is no doubt, it is defined like this. It is x when x is more than or equal to 0, and minus x if x is less than 0. So let us take the left limit first, limit x tends to 0 minus fx, or limit x tends to 0 minus of mod x. Now, when x tends to 0 minus means x is less than 0. Approaching 0 but x is less than 0. When x is less than 0, what is mod x? Mod x is minus x. Mod x is minus x if x is less than 0. That is how we define. Now, minus x now here is a polynomial. Minus x is a polynomial. X approaches 0 from below. Polynomial, we limit x is at every point. At 0 also limit x is. So, limit x to 0 minus of minus x is nothing but 0. In the same way, right limit at 0, that is limit x to 0 plus fx. That is limit x to 0 plus of mod x. And when x is approaching 0 plus means x is more than 0, mod x is x. Mod x is x if x is more than or equal to 0. And again x is a polynomial function. X approaches 0, so the limit is 0. Left limit is 0, right limit is 0. And what is f of 0? That's obvious, mod 0, that is 0. So all the 3 values are equal. Limit x to 0 minus fx equal to limit x to 0 plus fx equal to f of 0, and therefore fx equal to mod x is continuous at x equal to 0. I'm sure you followed it, but you write it again. If it comes as a question, how do you write it? Be careful about it. Let's take the second one. Fx equal to mod x by x if x not equal to 0, and equal to 0 if x equal to 0. I want to discuss the continuity at x equal to 0. Again, let us take left limit when x equal to 0 minus mod x by x. So, what is mod x when x is less than 0? Mod x is minus x. Now, limit x to 0 minus x by x. Here, I am not applying the limit. I am simplifying minus x by x. Minus x by x. No, minus x by x is simply minus 1. I haven't applied the limit. I just simply cancelled x and x because x is not equal to 0. X is approaching 0. So, x is not equal to 0. Now at this last point, I can apply the limit. Minus 1 is a constant. Limit x to 0 of the constant is same. Constant. Minus 1. See, I have not applied a limit in where there is x. I cancelled x because x is not equal to 0, and then I apply the limit. Be careful about the steps. Now right limit. Limit x to 0 plus fx. That is limit x to 0 plus mod x by x. When x approaches 0, mod x, that is x, because we know mod x is x if x is more than or equal to 0. Mod x by x, that is x by x. xx cancels, that is 1. Now I apply limit. Limit of constant is constant, that is 1. Oh, your left limit not equal to right limit. Left limit is -1 and right limit is 1, and left limit not equal to right limit. The function is discontinuous at x equal to 0. Even without noticing what is f of 0, here f of 0 is again entirely different one. Right? So once left limit not equal to right limit, we have the function is discontinuous at x equal to 0. Any question? What about this limit? Can you tell me, if I give you say 20 seconds, how do you find the limit as limit of the function fx as x tends to 0? What will be the limit? The answer? We have to apply sandwich theorem. How is sandwich theorem? We have sine 1 by x is between -1 and 1. I multiply with x squared, a positive quantity x squared throughout. So minus x squared less than or equal to x squared sine 1 by x less than or equal to x squared. And the limit of minus x squared, when x tends to 0 from below or above makes no difference. Limit of this and limit of this are equal. No matter whatever is, they are equal. They are equal. If fx less than or equal to gx less than or equal to hx, and fx and hx have same limit at a point, then the middle function also has the same limit. That is sandwich theorem. What is sandwich theorem? What is sandwich theorem? If for real function f, g and h, fx less than or equal to gx less than or equal to hx for all x in an interval, and limit of fx and limit of hx at a particular point are equal to L, then without anything, without knowing the limit of this, we can directly say limit x tends to a gx, x is, and that limit is also equal to L. See, if one function is sandwiched between fx and gx, fx and hx, gx is sandwiched between fx and hx, and these fx and hx have same limit L at a particular point, then at a particular point A, then gx also have the same limit at that point. That is sandwich theorem. Okay? Well, now by a sandwich theorem, here fx, gx and hx, fx and hx have same limit 0, so limit x tends to 0, x squared sine 1 by x equal to 0. Don't multiply limit x tends to 0 x squared into limit x tends to 0 sine 1 by x, because that product rule is applicable, working rule is applicable only if limit of both exists, but limit x tends to 0 sine 1 by x doesn't exist, so we cannot apply that as such here. So we apply the sandwich theorem. And what is given f of 0? F of 0 is given, it equal to 0, x equal to 0. Therefore the function is continuous, that is limit x tends to 0 fx equal to f of 0, and fx is continuous at x equal to 0. Fx is continuous at x equal to 0. Well, here we have fx equal to 1 minus cos x upon x squared, if x not equal to 0, and that's equal to 1 if x equal to 0. We want to discuss continuity at x equal to 0. Limit x tends to 0 fx, no need of taking left limit and right limit because the function is defined the same way when x less than 0 and when x more than 0. Limit x tends to 0 fx, that is limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos x upon x squared, 1 minus cos x upon x squared. How do you get this limit? There are two ways. One of the ways, we apply the formula 1 minus cos x is 2 sine squared x by 2. to recollect from trigonometry. Trigonometry is used in many places. 1 minus cos x is 2 sin squared x by 2. Now, these two can be taken out of the limit. Sin squared x by 2. I need x by 2 squared in denominator because sin theta by theta, limit theta to 0, 1, limit theta to 0, sin squared theta by theta squared, that is also 1. So, sin squared x by 2, I need a denominator x by 2 squared. X by 2 squared means x squared by 4. 4 is not there, I multiply and divide with 4. So that, of course, this 2 and 4, which 2 and which 4? This 2 and this 4 may be cancelled and you get 2. That can be simplified. And that 1 by 2 will come out. 1 by 2 into limit x to 0, sin squared x by 2 upon x by 2 squared. This is as good as, even instead of x tends to 0, you can write x by 2 tends to 0, you can avoid also. Limit theta tends to 0, sin squared theta upon theta squared, or that is limit theta tends to 0, sin theta upon theta the whole squared. What is that limit? That is half into 1, right? You know the limit. That is half into 1, that is half. Well, and what is f of 0? Half into 1 equal to half. F of 0 is given 1. Oh, limit is not. Limit x to 0, fx not equal to f of 0. Therefore, fx is discontinuous at x equal to 0. Now, as I told, this limit can be obtained in a slightly different way also if it is comfortable for you. 1 minus cos x upon x squared. I can multiply and divide with 1 plus cos x by 1 plus cos x. Because when I multiply with 1 plus cos x, numerator becomes a minus b divided plus b, a squared minus b squared. That is 1 minus cos squared x. Numerator becomes 1 minus cos squared x. That is sin squared x. I have directly written here now, masters of trigonometry, no problem. 1 minus cos x into 1 plus cos x is 1 minus cos squared x. That I have directly written as sin squared x. And denominator is x squared into 1 plus cos x. I am going to separate into two limits. One limit is limit x to 0, sin squared upon x squared. We know that is sin x upon x whole squared. Into limit x to 0, limit x to 0, 1 by 1 plus cos x. There is no indeterminate case now. You can apply the limit here 1 by 1 plus cos x. We know when x tends to 0, cos x tends to 1. And this limit, the first limit is 1. Limit theta tends to 0, sin theta by theta is 1. And limit theta tends to 0, cos theta is 1. So limit x tends to 0, cos x is 1. So applying this is 1 into 1 by 1 plus 1. How is that 2? 2 is like this. This is 1 by 1 plus 1. That is 1 by 2. So this limit is 1. That is 1 here. And this limit is 1 by 1 plus 1. That is 1 by 2. So the limit is 1 by 2. And then you can continue the same. Where f of 0 is 1. So that limit x to 0 fx is not equal to f of 0. And hence fx is discontinuous at x equal to 0. Okay. Let us take now. Find k if the following functions are continuous at the given point. So here it is given that the function is continuous. Or the question is, there is a k in each function. For what value of k? For what value of k? This function will be, or this function may be continuous at this given point. First one is fx equal to k cos x upon pi minus 2x when x not equal to pi by 2, and that is 3 if x equal to pi by 2. If this is continuous at x equal to pi by 2, what will be the value of k? Or what value of k will make this function continuous at x equal to pi by 2? When will you find that? How will you make sure that function is continuous at x equal to pi by 2? If limit x is to pi by 2, fx equal to f of pi by 2. of pi by 2 is given here. What is that? F of pi by 2 is given here. What is that? That is 3. F of pi by 2 is given 3. So now what we find is that here limit x tends to pi by 2 fx equates to f of pi by 2, which is 3. This is a very commonly asked question. Find limit x tends to pi by 2 fx. So that is why I took up the limits. You are not asked to find limit as a question, but the limit is playing a role, major role in these kind of questions. And second one is fx equal to under root 5x plus 2 minus under root 4x plus 4 upon x minus 2. It is not defined when x equal to 2, but when x equal to 2, it is k. And if this function is continuous at x equal to 2, what will be k? So let's take the first one. Here, fx equal to k cos x upon pi minus 2x when x not equal to pi by 2, and that is 3. Fx equal to pi by 2. Let us take limit x tends to pi by 2 fx. Limit x tends to pi by 2 fx. That is limit x tends to pi by 2 k cos x by pi minus 2x. K cos x by pi minus 2x. How do you evaluate the limit? Well, what I have is that there is x tends to pi by 2. X tends to pi by 2. Denominator pi minus 2x. If I take 2 common out, I get pi by 2 minus x. Denominator 2 taken out. And this numerator k taken out of limit, because limit is for the variable x. Anything other than variable x is a constant. K is a constant, comes out of limit. This 2 taken out can also be taken out of the limit. Right? So that further, I take pi by 2 minus x equal to a new variable t. T is a variable here. Instead of x, the new variable is going to be t. But what is t? Pi by 2 minus x. But now when I change the limit, I have to find what happens to, when I change the variable, I have to find what happens to the limit. When x tends to pi by 2, say pi by 2 minus x equal to t. Pi by 2 minus x equal to t. What happens to t when x tends to pi by 2? T will tend to, naturally t will tend to, right? Pi by 2 minus t equal to x. When x tends to pi by 2, t will tend to 0. When x tends to pi by 2, t tends to 0. So this becomes k by 2. By 2 has taken out, is taken out of limit. K by 2 into limit. Instead of x tends to pi by 2, I can write t tends to 0. All these I am going to put in terms of t. X is pi by 2 minus t. So cos pi by 2 minus t upon t. But we know cos pi by 2 minus t, cos pi by 2 minus theta is sin theta. Cos pi by 2 minus t is sin t. So this is k by 2 into limit t tends to 0 sin t by t. K by 2 into limit t tends to 0 sin t by t. Now we know what is limit t tends to 0 sin t by t. That is 1. Limit t tends to 0 sin t by t is 1. So this is k by 2 into 1, which is equal to k by 2. Now what is given? The function is continuous at x equal to pi by 2. And f of pi by 2 is given in question, that is 3. So now that f is continuous at x equal to pi by 2, when x is continuous at x equal to pi by 2, we get limit x tends to pi by 2, fx equal to f of pi by 2. What is limit x tends to pi by 2 fx? That is observed, found out here as k by 2. And what is f of pi by 2? 3. So we get k by 2 equal to 3 or k is equal to 6. Look at the question again. Limit x is to pi by 2 fx. That is limit x is to pi by 2 k cos x by pi minus 2x. What did we do? We took 2 out from denominator and k out of the limit. When I take 2 out from denominator, I get pi by 2 minus x, and I make a substitution pi by 2 minus x equal to t, so that when x tends to pi by 2, t tends to 0. You know, when x tends to pi by 2, t tends to 0. And x, because in numerator you need an x. X is pi by 2 minus t. Substituting this as k by 2 into limit t tend to 0 cos pi by 2 minus t upon t, and cos pi by 2 minus theta is sin theta. I remind again, cos pi by 2 minus theta is sin theta. So cos pi by 2 minus t is sin t. Sin t by t. Limit t tend to 0, sin t by t. That is 1. So k by 2 into 1, that is k by 2. So f of pi by 2 is given 3 in the question. So now that f is continuous at x equal to pi by 2, we get limit x is to pi by 2 f x equal to f of pi by 2. That is k by 2 equal to 3, k equal to 6. Okay. What is the second one? Fx is given under root 5x plus 2 minus under root 4x plus 4 upon x minus 2 when x not equal to 2, and that is k x equal to 2. And this is continuous at x equal to pi by x equal to 2. I have to find the value of k. So let us take limit x is to 2 fx, that is limit x is to 2 of 5x plus 2 minus under root 5x plus 2 minus under root 4x plus 4 upon x minus 2. How will you evaluate this limit? We will make this rational by multiplying and dividing with the rationalizing factor of that irrational term. What is that? Under root 5x plus 2 plus under root 4x plus 4. Multiply and divide with the same term. Multiply and divide with the same term. So that numerator becomes a minus b into a plus b. A minus b into a plus b. A minus b into a plus b is a squared minus b squared. This is a, this is b. A minus b into a plus b. A minus b into a plus b is a squared minus b squared. A squared minus b squared is 5x plus 2 minus 4x plus 4. And the denominator is x minus 2 here, x minus 2. As this bracket, this will act as a bracket. No need of another bracket here. X minus 2 into under root 5x plus 2 plus under root 4x plus 2. Now simplifying numerator, 5x minus 4x, that is x, and 2 minus 4, that is x minus 2. A minus b into a plus b is a squared minus b squared. So numerator is x minus 2 upon, you know how x minus 2? 5x minus 4x is x, 2 minus 4 is minus 2. And denominator is again x minus 2 into the whole term. X minus 2 cancels as x is not equal to 2, x is only approaching 2. Now at this point we can apply the limit, because when x tends to 2, this becomes under root 5 to 10 plus 2, 12 plus under root 4 to 8 plus 4, 12. 12 root 12 plus root 12, that is under root 1 by 2 root 12. But root 12 is 4 into 3, root of 4 into 3, that is 2 root 3. So ultimately, correct, root 12 is under root 4 into 3, that is 2 root 3. So ultimately you have 1 upon 4 root 3. What is this? Limit x is to 2fx, and it is given f of 2 equal to k. Given f of 2 is equal to k. Now that f is continuous, as f is continuous at x equal to 2, limit x is to fx equal to f of 2, that is directly k equal to, because the limit is 1 by 4 root 3, f of 2 is k, so k is equal to 1 upon 4 root 3. Direct. Well, we'll take more questions. Till then,
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you please repeat the first step of multiplying and dividing one?
You know, a minus b into a plus b is a squared minus b squared. I mean, a squared minus b squared. A minus b into a plus b is a squared minus b squared. So if you have root a minus root b into root a plus root b, it will be a minus b. Rationalizing factor of root a minus root b. If you have say root a minus root b, if you multiply with root a plus root b, what will you get? Root a minus root b into root a plus root b. What will you get? Tell me. Root a minus root b into root a plus root b.
A minus b.
So that is the technique here. Root a minus root b, numerator, the first step, look, root a minus root b. I multiply with root a plus root b, divide with the same time. When I multiply, I have to divide. This root a, for root a minus root b, root a plus root b is called the rationalizing factor. That you studied in minds or things like that. Whenever you have root a minus root b, if you multiply it with root a plus root b, this term, when your numerator is now rational. Clear that step?
Yes.
Under root 5x plus 2 minus under root 4x plus 4. I multiply and divide with under root 5x plus 2 plus under root 4x plus 4. If you have root a minus root b, I multiply and divide with. When I multiply, I have to divide now. Multiply and divide with the rationalizing factor. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Denominator term as it is here. I am going to apply the limit at the last. Denominator term as it is. Numerator root a minus root b into root a plus root b is a minus b. Granted?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, let us have some questions here. That kind is not here, but you can practice that. Find the case fx is continuous at the given point. X squared minus 3x plus 2. Do it today itself. Upon x minus 1, if x not equal to 1, and that is k, if x equal to 1, is continuous at x equal to 1. Sin kx by x, if it's not equal to 0, 4, x equal to 0 is continuous at x equal to 0. You have to find k. 1 minus cos kx by x sin x, when x not equal to 0, half. 1 by 2 when x equal to 0, at x equal to 0. Discuss again continuity of fx equal to x plus mod x upon x, when x not equal to 0, and that is 2 if x equal to 0. I have to discuss continuity at x equal to 0. Please do it. Let us have some exercise, and we'll meet back tomorrow. Till then, please wait. Let me take the attendance. Let me see how many are here. I do not know why you are absent again.